We are fixing truss number 8, Nemesis. This connector plate is not holding anything. The one on the back side is in the wrong spot now, but it is dug into the wood a little bit, so it might be helping to hold this piece of wood lower than it should be. This piece of wood, the top part of the top cord, is perfectly in line with every other one up here. It seems to be in the right place. This one here is deflected down, and I suspect that it's warped here, and as it dried it put tension on, so when it had some impact it let go. First thing I'm going to do is make sure there's no nails in behind this top cord and the plywood that is the sheathing for the shingles, because if I push or release this and it goes back to where it wants to go and there's a nail sticking through, it could push the nail up through the shingles, and we don't want that. So I'm going to use this, just a little hand hold for a hacksaw blade. I'm just making sure there's no nails. So there is one right here, and it is about 1/8 of an inch low. So I'm actually going to cut that one. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to trust that this will not come back all the way to there. This connector plate's not doing anything, so it's going to come off, so it's not in my way. Oh, that was so hard to do. Thankfully, truss number 7 over here stayed true for the entire length of this ordeal. I fixed every other truss around truss number 8, so the roof is as strong as I can get it. So when I start playing with this, it's not going to affect other things. This gusset plate is not doing anything connected to the top cord. However, it is holding these two web members together. Because the gusset plate on the back is loose, it's not helping at all. So this is actually all that's keeping these two as straight as they are. So I'm going to leave that on there until we get to that part of the repair. So now I'm going to try and see, does this piece of wood want to go back? This is very precarious. That's why I'm videotaping, in case things go really wrong. You'll have the benefit of learning from my mistake. I'm going to start with a few gentle taps of the hammer and see if that does anything. I'm going to use my marker, and I'm going to put a line on here so I can see if things are changing. It's line number 1. I'll put another line down here and a third line here. Actually, let's just keep going. 4, 5, there. So now there's 5 lines on there. We'll see if any of those disappear. I'm going to hide underneath truss number 9, which has been reinforced. Okay, so we're up to line number 3 now. Okay. It is moving up, but then springing back. So something else is acting on that member. We moved it about maybe 3/4 of an inch back to where it wants to go. And as I was doing that, I heard the roof make a slight noise. So I think that's as good as I'm going to get it. I don't want to actually force it back up there, and I certainly can with the jack. The jack will lift a couple of tons. But I don't want to do that. So we're going to call that a day, and now we're going to sister this with some new 2x4s, and we will push those 2x4s, not this member, just the 2x4s up against the roof. Screw and glue that in, and we will call that done for truss number 8 on the top cord. So now I have to figure out what am I going to do with this. This is actually now, this part of the roof has come down and is now sitting on these two web members. So before I had about 1/4 of an inch of gap. That gap is gone now. So this was deflected down and holding this slightly up. So now everything seems to be sitting in a state of equilibrium. I'm going to try and get these two gusset plates seated in before I put my 2x4 on, because I'd rather have these plates on because right now they're holding these two web members rigid. So I'm going to use my 8-inch clamps and attempt, it's a lot of work to get this in there, so I'm going to, I'll start the repair on camera and then I'll save you some time by pausing the video. Okay, I have to be careful. I'm tightening up on one web member, not the other, and it's actually starting to separate. So I can put this one right on the junction of these two web members at the bottom of the gusset plate. Put this one tight first. So that's starting to work. I'm going to move the camera so you can see a little better what we're up against here. Trying to accomplish. I wonder if I can zoom in while filming. Nope. Okay. This is what we're trying to do right there. So I can leave those two clamps in place, throw on a third.